So rescue unit is in place, looking for the 5-second board, waiting for the green flag, which goes up now. So the 5-second board goes out, and we are set for the final time, sadly, but excitedly at the same time, for the JMRG Caterham Graduates. The Sigma 150 is about to go any second now. And Max Haynes shoots the gap. What a start from Max Haynes with the second row of the grid. Shoots the gap immediately through Sibbett and Howes. Howes was wheel spinning on pole position from the line. And Max Haynes, like a rocket, goes through the middle of them and straight into the right-hander Rich's corner first. An incredible start for Max Haynes, looking for another victory. Wheel to wheel, 2 and 3 abreast on the corner exit. Now the sprint down towards the Wilson hairpin for the first time. All 31 have got through cleanly. It's Haynes who leads, Sibbett in second. It's then Van Esten to third place. Polster to Ian Howes, has been shuffled from the front of the grid down to 4th in 2-1 corner already. Now to the left-hander at Palmer's. Also there's Stephen Clark's made a quick start. From him behind, got 72 William Bright going to wheel with none of the orange and blue caterings in the background. There's Van Esten defending from a recovering Howes, trying to retain third place. But down towards Agostini, it is leader Max Haynes, followed by Sibbett, then Van Esten defending from Howes. Also around the outside there is Brian. I can't quite see who he's battling. It is the orange, and whoever he's battling makes contact with it, gets out of shape and holds on to the place for the moment. Through the left-hander. Back to Wonky. Another car going sideways in the background. It's lost off the front wing already. I thought he had, but it's just been very well hidden given it's black. And it is, again, couldn't see the number, but they're packing up 2x2 through the midfield at Ollie's corner, but onto the back straight for the first time. It's a cracking start for Haynes. That's genuinely one of the best starts of the weekend. Just shot the gap strictly, rocket propelled from the second row of the grid, straight through upwards to the lead. Not really looking back now for the next, 18.5 minutes.
Yeah, wow, we usually see starts like that from a Dutch driver named Max, but Max Haynes, what a start that was. Unbelievable. Thread of the needle, straight through the drivers on the front row. It's the lead of the race. As we say, he won race number 1 yesterday. Let's see if he can make it and win in race 3 as well here. Battles continuing on then. That was a 4th place as they headed down through the bomb hole for the first time. But still, as we always see in Caterham racing, all the drivers following in tow. We've not split off into any groups just yet. We continue to press on through this race. And here is the number 99, your race leader of Max Haynes. As we say, closely followed then by James Sibbett. All drivers squabbling in behind. There's the 50 of McCall getting a nice run there out of Murray's. They'll use that slipstream. I was going to say all the way up the front straight. He's not. He's pulled out really early to try and make use of said slipstream, but been forced to the outside line then as I headed to T1. Either way, it's worked out for him. Here he goes up into P4. Nice move there from Howes. Gets it done. Shuffles McCall then back into to 5th place. So that's a bit of a wide moment there through T1. Has done well to hold that one. Get it back onto the black stuff as they get themselves all sorted out. I think the 50 there actually ended up losing position of McCall after all of that. So after making up the place on Howes, that was right. Howes then decides to fire his way back through at the following corner. They change it again. Number 3 of Clark as well getting involved. He's been impressive throughout this race weekend. Have Stephen Clark once again getting involved in the leading squabble here. Only just a few minutes into the race then. Lap 1 completed. Top 6 still absolutely line astern, but Haynes, beautiful start, beautiful first lap. Continues to weather the storm at the sharp end, which isn't the easiest thing to do in a group of Caterhams. For the moment, Haynes continues to lead.
He does. About a quarter of a second across the line. Civic currently keeping it, keep quite honest here. Essen to third place, McCall, Howes, Clark, Brian, Ward and Ward split in the top 10. That's Haynes there, we'll hit them onto the back straight for the second time, with Civic keeping close pursuit. The green and purple machine, the drivers to watch out for in that sense. Looking further back, 2, that's looking at Wilson started at 19th place, currently running at the moment outside the top 16 at least. Civic goes to the front, he's got past Haynes on the back straight, he's anticipating to do it in typical Caterham fashion. I've said that phrase again. Which has been quite a common theme given all the 60s races. So excited to keep my chair over the background on top of that, even so. And that's how exciting Caterham racing is, kick your chair over. Well, going back to the leaders, much more important matters than my chair.
As long as it's a chair and not a bucket.
Yes, exactly. William Van Esten in 3rd place, it's a good point. 4th place for Ian Howes, followed by it's Call in 5th place and Clark in 6th. Stephen Clark, remember, he started 14th in race 1 and won the race. James McCall putting that right, so Max Haynes basically putting the big passing lead right. Look at William Van Esten down the outside of both James Sibbett. Sibbett was so busy trying to repass and defend Max Haynes, and Van said, excuse me, out the way you go, I'm coming through for second place. Michael Leeds, he comes up the inside of Haynes for the run towards Wilson hairpin. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he can, and through goes William Van Ness, puts the golf coloured car into P1. Haynes will try and get the better punch off the corner back on the exit towards Palmer. He'll be on the outside, which is that slightly off-camber part of the corner. Thinks about it, puts a wheel alongside the rear of Van Ness's machine. Van Ness has got a rookie cross on his car as well, so he's obviously a brand new newcomer. For a rookie, John, he ain't half bad.
Amazing, amazing, especially given the fact that he's a rookie. He's battling so well, locks the front left though as they head down into Agostini. Is able to lead off the brakes lovely there. As soon as that started to lock, he bled off of it, held the speed, holds the lead as well. Through we continue on then into Hamilton, and again this wobbling for the race lead. I'll say it again, add 2 more Caterhams, add 2 more Caterhams, and add 2 more Caterhams. This group is getting bigger to the delight of us in the commentary box, and I'm sure everyone trackside and everyone watching at home as well. We continue to press on then. Less than 15 minutes left to go. For the first time in this race, Van Ness through into the lead of the race, staying there for the moment. At the end of this straight, I'm not sure I'm going to be saying the same thing. Immediately, Haynes pulls out to the outside line then. Look at this from Civet as well, using the slipstream beautifully. They might even almost make it 3 wide, not quite enough from Civet to make it 3 wide, but we will go 2 by 2 into the braking zone. Van Ness doing a beautiful job though, holding it around the outside and keeping the lead. Fantastic racing from a driver who once again has a rookie cross on the back of his car.
Not driving that one, is he though? He's certainly
not at all.
Against drivers who don't have one, of course, and he's very driving it, doing it for a while. He's taking the Caterham racing pretty quickly. What did I say this was? Like the Formula Ford of sports cars that really is proving its worth right now. Of course, very similarities, no aero, of course, lots of slipstreaming, lots of pack racing, narrow tyres, Ford engines, of course, and it's all down to no aero grip, it's down to mechanical driver skill, all in terms of a setup of mechanical grip and driver skill. Max Haynes, for the 3rd time, trying to get the lead down the pit straight. William Bryant sets the new fast lap for the race, 2:09.424. What's the lap record for the, reminds us again for the 150s? I was getting excited because I thought it was for the 135, which is a 2:11. So I think it was on the notes you had that record from a couple of years ago. As Van Ness has gone through back to hold on to the lead, Haynes back in 2nd place. Civic's the 3rd. Look at Stephen Parker down the outside. 2:08.376 is the lap record, and that was a 2:09, wasn't it, for the lap time from William Bryant. Lap time that resets itself.
Best time we've had today is a 2:08.8 already in the previous race. That was from Henry Heaton.
That's correct. You're absolutely right. So he's new. That's why he's not in this race. That's quite strange. So Henry's not in this race, which I'm confused as to why he isn't. But that's the car driving this race. He did have that off in race 2 when he went not straight on. It was a brake issue or something else that's come up, which is preventing him racing. Quite strange, but no Henry Heaton in this race, unfortunately. Which means that Van Ness can get a chance to try and stand on the top step. But Heaton, of course, is going to be in the mix as well. Ian has been a little sideways as he just twitches the rear end through Hoggy's posture of the car, and he tweaks his way through. Haynes just running over the curb on the inside, which gives Civet a chance to really lock in. He's got a double toe for both Haynes and Van Ness. And here comes the purple and green machine. Haynes will go to the outside line. Civet has to pick a lane and goes to the outside. Then goes further to the outside of Haynes. They're both past Van Ness. Now it's side by side for Civet and Haynes. They both come together. Van Ness retaliates on the inside of Brundle. At the outside for Nelson. Civet tries to stand his ground. Van Ness again with a rookie cross round the outside of Civet into Nelson. And look at Stephen Clark. He gets the momentum up the inside into the bomb hole. Into 3rd place he goes. William Van Ness battling like a veteran. He's definitely a rookie.
Yeah, William Van Ness has confidence in spades, doesn't he? There, hanging it round the outside. It almost looked as though Civet was going to go for the race lead there, but aggressive chop across from Haynes. Saw him then have to battle for 2nd place, and then Van Ness closed the door on him as well. Gets shuffled back and now loses the position. That's Clark who snuck on through then. Up into the top 3 he goes, fittingly driving car number 3. The 3 into 3rd place, but for how much longer again? We're battling for 3rd, and moves over to the inside line to cover off the potential move there from Civet as we press on now onto lap number 5 of this race. It is still Bryant though in 5th place with the fastest lap of the race here. Let's see how he gets stuck in with the leading squabble as well. We're side by side for 4th now on corner exit. That's Civet trying to hold on from Bryant. He's got that fastest lap, but for the moment can't quite get the position. Once again, we'll have to nestle in behind. Actually, I'm not 100% sure that is Bryant, as there was a rookie cross on the back of the car, but we'll see. They're all continuing to chop and change so much in this back. I can't even work out who anyone is. That is classic Caterham racing. It was the 72. It was Brian getting involved. Brian is indeed a rookie. My apologies to Mr. Brian, but anyway, he's getting stuck in. He has the fastest lap, looking very feisty, but this squabbling for third place is just allowing for Haynes and Van Ness to continue to drive up the road. Not something we usually say.
No, it's a rarity you get a massive gap in Caterham. It's very un-Caterham-esque, shall we say, in that sense. But yeah, Haynes and S trying to pull away. In fact, Haynes is pulling away from S. Both pulling away from the back of the third, which is headed by Civic with Clark, Brian, Howes, and McCall in there as well. This is now third down to seventh. But they're still trying to weave around to find a room. Civic wasn't going to play Chase the Snake. He was going to go to the inside line to try and quickly go to third position, gets the toe, gets the run down the straight, and into towards Brian Nelson in front of him. Even turns left towards Brian, not then pitching it right for Nelson. Howes does the next as well, because he starts on pole. I think he's at the third hit. Can't speak. However, his third fastest time was the fastest of the respective third fastest times of the other driver. Hence how he got pole for race number 3 from a shaky start, likely getting what we saw from Max Haynes from the second row of the grid. That was exactly what was key to see. Haynes turns in through the Norwich corner, neatly sort of clipping the curb and just sliding the car nicely through the apex at the last turn. Pit straight will go. S might get a bit of a toe down the pit straight to try and close in on him. Not close enough to trouble him. New fastest lap of the race, 2:09.337. William Van Ness got a small toe from him to help him do that. It's Civic, Clark, Howes, Brian McCall. But next couple of cars more than Smith. Warner in Peter. Warner was 10. Though he is 10, he has got past Hughes. And Amanda Anderson is in 12th position. This whole thing on the top 10. Good effort from her so far again. As you see, Bryant holding off Hughes. They got past Howes in fact in 5th position. It's a change of place for them. Next time we try and chase after Clark, who in turn is trying to chase after Brian and Civic. Haynes and Esther staying together, but the gap between them was 1.8 seconds between first and third. S is going with Max Haynes now. Third place battle, tries to chase him down with 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, he is indeed very much going with Haynes, isn't he? Those two within 4 thousandths of a second of each other's lap times on the last time around, with Van Ness ever so slightly quicker. As I say, 4 thousandths not really catching by huge amounts, but we'll see if Van Ness can settle into it, find a bit more pace as well, maybe close that gap back to the leader once more. But really, we need to see those two start to go at it, hammer and tong here for the last 8 minutes if we want the likes of Civic, Clark, Howes, Brian and McCall all getting back involved. It's then about 2.5 seconds back to Board, which will be then this next battle back, which the cameramen so beautifully pan to. Board then from 8th place backwards, battling in with Smith, Warner, Hughes and Anderson. Barrett's in with them as well, so's Elliott, so's Gibson, so again a massive long train. But here another change for the lead, uses the slipstream well, does Van Ness, and back to the sharp end he goes.
He does, again, we've got rookie cross on him, he's not driving like one, he's got Max Haynes right on his tail, Civic trying to chase after. The next group are going line astern, being led by now, looking at number 86, which is Oliver Smith. He's been straight in front of the group, he was 9th at the start of this group, he's now into 8th position, now past Brendan Board. So coming out through Murray's again. Haynes putting himself in that position, but he can toe up the straight, possibly make the move. He tends to do this, he tends to go into the last corner and off the pit straight behind the car he wants to be beat. He gets the toe and moves himself alongside, which he's doing right now outside my Colton Rock's window. Oh wow, I think we're going to do that record. James Civic has a 2:08.085. That's correct. Well, it's come up on the screen, but it's broken anyway, because if that wasn't true, Van Ness is at a 9.327. I think it was a glitch on the timing screen, because the timing doesn't tell me that he's done that. I'll refresh it for a second, see if it does come up. No, it was correct, 2:08.085. My timing screen was lagging, so by far that's that record. That's incredible. 2:08.085 for James Civic, third place in the green and purple car. A brand new lap record. How much is it breaking? What is it? 8/10 is broken by?
I think 3/10 is broken by in terms of the all-time lap record, but in terms of this weekend's lap record, he has beaten that by 8/10. So fair play. What a lap from Civic, and as being shown by his track position, he's closed right back up to our leading two.
Really has. So it's the Civic now going for the victory, not just the podium place, and closing up to the top two. Haynes, Van Ness and Civic now with the podium position. Stephen Clark in 4th, Howes and Brian. Brian also, of course, remember, is on a rookie cross as well. 5 3/4 minutes to go. Through Williams as they go. They're on lap 7 of this 20-minute race. It's Civic will get the double toe. You'd be surprised how much toe you really can get in Caterham. You get a massive one, much bigger than you think. You can see with the 2 cars in front, Civic's getting an absolute feast of a turbo boost down the back straight. Tries to have a look, but finds his way blocked. Van Ness was trying to make a move on Haynes. Haynes had enough momentum to keep the line through Brundle and through Nelson, so Civic sits back in third. So it might allow Clark, Howes and Bryant a chance to get back in. You saw, even from quite a far distance, Civic was getting quite a strong toe, and likewise Van Ness on Haynes. So will start to close in. If he gets a good run through the bomb hole, through Coram and out of Murray's and onto the pit straight, there's a good chance he might close up into them even further. He's right there in fact, so this could be an option to watch out for if we get more than 3 cars in this lead group. Out of Murray's, still Haynes, Hess, Civic, then it's Clark, Howes, Bryant, that's the order now. And then it's possibly Redwood, I think, has gone to 7th place. McCall's dropped back a little bit. Goes side by side for the lead, and there goes Van Ness in front. Yes, he does. He's gone through now. So that's now once again Van Ness heads in the front. Civic's got good momentum through Richie's corner. Out wide goes Clark and holds on to it. Lucky to get away with that one. Back up the inside goes Haynes. I'll take it back if you don't mind. Thank you. Back in place he goes. Actually shuts Van Ness out completely. Just comes across and holds up. That kills his momentum, and now he comes Civic down the outside line to pick up 2nd place. Good move around the outside for Civic, and he does make it stick. Yes. So good effort there from Civic. New that record holder to 8.085. Towards Agostini again. I think it's the cooler conditions that are helping us, because in cooler conditions you can regulate the tyre temperatures, pressures much better, and the engines with its cooler can breathe better as well in many cases, because of course depending on how cool the air is. So therefore I reckon it's possibly helping the engines breathe better, perform better, and the tyres run better in that optimal operating range to be able to keep their optimal pressures and temperatures, so then drivers like Civic with a tow get these new lap record times.
Indeed, yeah, it's amazing to see the times that we're seeing, and all these Caterhams are singing in unison, aren't they, as we now fly down the back straight once again. This time with Van Ness leading the way ahead of Haynes and Civic, but I can see this one going down to the final corner on the last lap. I mean, I say that, I couldn't have said it's a Caterham race. I would have inferred the same thing, wouldn't I, as we continue on side by side down to the end of the back straight. This is Civic getting involved this time, looking around the outside of Haynes. Can't quite get it done. He has gone through into 2nd place once more then. So Van Ness back down into 3rd. Again, just trading places, these top 3. Let's see if Clark, Bryant and Howes can close in this battle as well. From 7th place back, the likes of Moore, Smith, Anderson, Warner and a few other drivers involved as well. That is not settling down anytime soon either, as we look further back. And I can say exactly the same.
Yeah, about every way you look at Caterham Graduates, and exactly the essence of Caterham racing up and down the order. This next group is headed by 128 at the moment, at least. 127 is looking up the inside. That is Battle of Gould and Price. That's for 18th position downwards. Also there too is Hoare and Issue and Crook. So that's 18th and 21st battling against each other. These have gone down towards Richie's again, with just about 2.5 minutes left on the clock. We're going to get 2 more laps, just about, I think. Given the time at the moment, where are we at now? It is coming up to almost 5:45. The time table, of course, is 6:30 curfew, so I think if you get this one in, you should actually get quite good time, actually. The final race of the weekend, which is Caterham North Mazda MX-5 Super Cup. As the camera eventually finds the track down at Richie's corner. It's got more back to go. We'll get that scrap for 18th, 19th, 20th and 21st all together now. 3 Richies. Back towards the Wilson hairpin. Back to our leaders. Haynes now with Civic on his tail. Van Ness in 3rd position. We've got the next group of cars headed now, I think, by Ian Howes. Yes. Oh, that's Clark back up the inside of both Bryant and Clark's defending from Bryant and also repassing Howes in the process. He's back into 4th place now. They're quite a few seconds back now to go into Hamilton, left-hander.
What did we say earlier? The best wall defences attack.
Absolutely. Clark is certainly proving that one. And I'd like to say they're too far away to try to jump in the top 3. As I say, this is a Caterham race. You're never that far away to go trouble unless there's trouble. And Van Ness has actually lost a bit of momentum next to Oggies and Williams. He's actually dropped back a couple of tenths. So now he's Haynes versus Civic for the lead. Unless those two come to close, and let's face it, it's a Caterham race. They will, in a positive sense. So he'll come back into it and also get a double toe from them as well. Civic hits the front as they go through, but locks up into Brundle. Carries that locked inside front all over Nelson. It's this tiny tap in the tail, I think, from Max Haynes. They're on the accelerator trying to get back towards the bomb hole as quickly as possible. And also you can see Clark's not really making any inroads to the top 3. He's actually defending Howes more than he is trying to push on. He's losing time to the cars around him. So now they come to the last lap of the race. The last race of the weekend, last lap of the racing, last race lap of the weekend for the Caterham team. total sense, which I'm quite disappointed about, because it's been so great racing on their first race since being permanently joining the BRSUC. They've been a credit to the weekend and of course to going back to qualification racing. One more lap of the 300 circuit, side by side for the lead. Here we go.
And don't be sad it's over, be happy it's happened, and we've got one more lap to enjoy it as well. Back to the front then goes Haynes, uses the slipstream beautifully, round the outside he goes, back into the lead. I think maybe that bit of time lost onto the back straight for Van Ness could actually be a bit of a blessing in disguise. It's forced him to stay in third place here. If he can play his cards right across the last lap, he can set himself up for potentially stealing away a position or two here through the final lap. Well, all stays as it was then, down through Wilson once more. Haynes ahead of Sibbett, ahead of Van Ness. Through the left they go. Down through Palmer once again, and then flying down to the heavy braking zone of Agostini. Once again, a potential overtaking opportunity here. Will Sibbett think about it? Is we going to drive her off there through turn 1? Another one of our novice cross drivers sadly off at T1. But there we go then. Sibbett looking for it, not able to get a move done. As you say, soaring at the wheel there through Agostini, trying to keep Van Ness behind. He's done it for now. But these are the crucial few corners, aren't they? Down through into Oggies, then out of Williams onto the back straight. 3 absolutely line astern. We will say, Parkline and Hauser have been battling, but they really aren't that far behind.
Wait and see, hold your breath, onto the back straight for the final time. Haynes leads it, Sibbett in second, S in third, but who wins it is anyone's guess as they come back towards the line. They've got Howes battling Clark, he's busy defending. He's trying to close into the top 3. Down the back straight here they come, Sibbett to the outside line, he takes the lead. Haynes gets back to the slipstream, he goes back to the outside line. Escos tries to the outside of Haynes, can't make it happen. And back around the outside he goes, side by side to Brendan Nelson. Haynes back through into the lead. Here goes Van Ness on the exit too. Sibbett sideways, Haynes leads it, side by side for second. Van Ness to the inside, Sibbett hangs tough around the outside at the bomb, holds on to it for the time being. Haynes to Coram. This battle might cost him the victory here because Haynes is trying to get away and dry here. Side by side the two of them are so fussed with each other, they're not actually going to catch Haynes, I don't think. He might be a second win of the weekend for the 99. Altabros to the final time. S and Sibbett will try and close, but it's going to be too late. What's been a barnstorming weekend all weekend long for all 6 races. The Caterham Graduates ending with another victory for Max Haynes at Signal 150. Side by side to the line, and it was S who beat Sibbett to the flag and got second place by 42 1,000ths of a second. Again, in typical Caterham fashion. Then it was Clark who got 4th, Hauser got 4th in the end, just missing the podium, 4th in the battle between himself and Clark, and he beat Clark by 21,000ths of a second, 0.020, the gap between 4th and 5th in the end.